What's up, real estate photographers? Today is another Flambient tutorial blended with my new method, which is shooting 3 brackets, 2 stops apart with multiple flash pops when needed. And so I wanted to showcase this particular room, this particular house, because first of all, there's no furniture. That can be a lot trickier because now you have to balance out the color of the walls, and the floor now is wide open to, especially a floor like this where it's kind of that orangey wood. When there's no furniture to mask the bounce of your flash like this, then you can run into some color cast issues. But that's why I went overkill. This was my HDR blended 3 images. Really, we could probably do something, bring the highlights down, bring the shadows up. Something like this could be usable, especially if you're a realtor. I wouldn't necessarily go through the trouble of flash popping all this. But for this example, this is why, if a room or a house calls for that, then I absolutely do that. And it doesn't take you as long as you think. So this is the first flash pop. And what I do with every image is I come up here and I'm on Micro Four Thirds system. I'm using that Leica 7.5 millimeter, which is the full frame equivalent of a 15 millimeter. I just do my first bump because it has distortion until you correct that. So, and again, I've showed this in other tutorials, but if you're using that lens, make sure you're going to Venus optics. And because it's not, it's a complete 100% manual lens, meaning the camera can't read even the aperture of it. It has manual aperture on it also. So you're going to have to choose Venus optics right here, and then choose 15 millimeter, even if you are using the Micro Four Thirds system. This is based off the full frame version. So if we toggle that on and off, you can see that it gets rid of the vignetting, and it corrects for that barrel distortion. Boom, just like that. So the other thing I like to do is to minimize color casting and kind of flatten the image down. We can deal with, saturation later. In real estate, I really don't like to push saturation at all, because then you start to reveal color cast, the blues, the greens that come through, just bumping vibrance and saturation. If you just do like this, look, you can see where the yellows and the greens are bleeding through, even the blues. So we knock that down, it hides it a little better. And actually, we'll put these right at 0. I'm just double tapping my mouse right there. I come up to profile where it says Adobe Color and change that to standard, and that softens it even more. It takes away some of that saturation even more. Okay, and then I come over here to copy. Everything's checked, just copy those settings, and I move on to my first flash pop. Now, the way I'm running really quick is I'm running with the Godox T600. Let me show you right here. TT600. It does not have TTL, this particular one. I'll leave a link in the description if I can remember to do so, but I have pretty much a ton of links in there. But search this right here, pause the video, go search this on Amazon. It's only 65 bucks. It requires 4 AA batteries. I use rechargeables. So, and I always have more than one set with me. So that is the flash. That's the only flash I'm using for this entire shot, okay? And I'm using the Godox, just a regular Godox trigger. And you can see that I have a belt clip. I have my shutter release, wireless shutter, wireless controller right there on my hip. And then I actually have this, if I could zoom in even more, you could see that this is a belt clip, so I can clip my flash onto my belt, and that way I'm hands-free, can pick up my tripod, move things around if I need to. I just love to be hands-free when all possible. That's why I've really gotten away from using the big AD600 or whatever. Okay, so did we do this one yet? We got to paste these settings in, okay? Just to light this front part, because I wanted to show these banisters or these pillars here. And then I come into the room, paste these settings. Looks good to me. Come over here, paste these settings. And again, I'm using as shot, run with auto white balance. And most of the time it's good. And then I come over here and we'll paste these settings. I'm going to drop the highlights on this one a little bit. I like that. And I'm going to show you how to blend all these. All these 5 stars, I am holding down shift, clicking that one so I can highlight them all. We're going to right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. Okay, once all our images are loaded into Photoshop, the very first thing I want to do is highlight them all, come up here to edit, auto align layers, and then make sure auto selected, hit OK. You can use a shortcut key for that. I don't. I should be doing that. It would save me a lot of time. But I'm going to walk you through right now on how to blend all these together. So we got to turn off each one until we get to our 2 side-by-side composites here. The top one, I'm going to highlight that one. Hold down Option and click on the mask button. That'll make a black mask. We're going to make sure white is selected on the top right here. And take our gradient tool. I like to just start somewhere here and just click and drag and move it over before I get to myself. Yep, see, if we went too far, then we reveal ourselves there. And we want to go, I like that. You can see it's a little hot in the center, but don't worry about that. Now we're going to take our, let's move this up, turn this to lighten mode. So if we toggle that on and off, right there, we just turn the light on in that room. I like to take the opacity and maybe try to drop, oh, we can't do that. You know what we can do though? Is merge these 2 layers, merge layers, and then we can take the opacity down like that. If you don't like the way that made a little round spot there, we can brush that back in. Just do white, make sure black selected, take your brush, and then just kind of feather that in like that. Okay, let's turn this layer on now. This is just the flash pop. We just held it above the camera. Let's do lighten mode on that one. Turn that off and on. Look at how bright that is. We can actually turn that down. I'm gonna go to about 68%. Now we can turn our HDR ambient layer only on. Let's see what luminosity mode does. I like that. It takes away a lot of that color cast. Take the opacity down to say 50%, get a nice blend. Let's just do a white mask leaving black, and we can paint back in some of those windows. This was in a a town, so I mean it's not like we got lakefront, so I really don't care about window pulls too much, because you don't want to draw attention to the house like right next door to it. You want to just focus on the interior. At least that's for me. If it was a beautiful lake view or mountain views, of course we want to make sure we got nice clean window pulls to showcase that too. If you're trying to showcase a view, then window pulls make sense. If you're really not trying to put, make the windows look like a distraction, then I personally don't really do too crazy of window pulls. But that is it, folks. So we're going to flatten this image. And I'm going to command to save it. And it'll bring it back into Lightroom as a TIFF file for me. And I'm going to do my interior final fast bump. And I am just going to crop this down a little bit. Let's see. Like that. Verticals look pretty good, actually. I might just call that a day right there. Okay, that is your one speed light ambient composite with that HDR blend. I just like doing that because it gives you more to work with. So leave me a comment below. If you have any questions, I answer every comment, and we'll see you in the next tutorial, guys. Bye-bye.